Hello and welcome to our weekly talk show, The Interview, and our special segment, Reaching Out with HT. From seeing mental patients being chained in many homes in Punjab to being called a museum piece herself, Rakhee Gupta Bhandari's career as an IAS officer has been both interesting and challenging. Rakhee divides her time between singing, writing poetry, family, and work. Her videos, devoted to Lord Krishna, have gone viral. Rakhee Gupta Bhandari in this edition of HT's weekly talk show, The Interview, in our special segment, Reaching Out. Welcome to the show, Rakhee Gupta Bhandari, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Kumkumji.
You have said interesting things about yourself, and I will quote, I was viewed as a museum piece. Ajuba is the word you used, if I remember rightly. Would you take me through that period when accepting you was a problem because of your gender?
So, when I was posted for the first time as SDM Rampura Phul, backward district, Bhatinda of Punjab. So, during my first posting, people went up to the Chief Minister and said that if you may permit, I'll use a little bit of Punjabi here. So they said, "A nikki ji kudi," meaning a small girl from an outside Delhi place, or "A galbaat sadi kidda samjhegi?" How will she understand what we're saying? And they came and told me कि ਅਸੀਂ ये Chief Minister ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ, मतलब we have told the Chief Minister this. So I really didn't know how to react because I was supposed to be their SDM. It was a challenge for me. I worked 10 times harder to make them literally understand the galbaat and try to understand. So what I noticed was that it was essentially that being a woman was a little irksome for them because they were a little uncomfortable with a woman authority figure, and also because they had never seen a woman in that kind of an authoritative position. So they obviously felt a little uncomfortable about things.
You belong to Uttar Pradesh and you speak fluent Punjabi, which I've heard in some of your shows, and you also know Sanskrit and a little bit of French. How have you packed in so much?
Oh, so that I think comes to me naturally. My father being in the revenue service, I hail from a family of bureaucrats, and my father was Chief Commissioner of Income Tax. So we were transferred constantly. I think that's the way I learned to adapt. So learning Sanskrit, learning French, learning Tamil, and learning Punjabi came very easily to me because I pick up languages easily. Since I'm fond of music, I also try and learn the songs of the various languages, and that gives me a very nice insight into things. So I know songs in Tamil, Malayalam, Punjabi, French even.
You also said, I stand as a woman and perform like a man. Would you explain this or elaborate?
So this is one thing which I think I've learned from my mother, because she was one person who always told me that even if you get into the services or you're doing in whatever job, please don't forget that you're a woman, because every woman is looking up to you. So I always thought that generally when I was in the services, I was told that you had to be really strong and you had to appear to be very poised and calm and behave like a man, because looking and behaving like a man at that point of time was considered a virtue. So one day I thought, why don't we give it another twist? Like, why not why not continue being a woman? So I thought, let me continue with my natural self, because that is what I am. Why should I put on a persona which I'm not? So I was a woman, I am a woman, I shall be a woman, and I have all the physical, emotional characteristics of a woman. So let me use that to the best of my ability. And we women can be very stern, I think even sterner than men when we want to be. So I think I use those qualities of my head and heart, should I say, to combine the best of both. You can wear an act for some time, but when you have to be in service for that long, I realized I was very comfortable being myself, and being myself was being a woman.
You just killed my next question, which was where you said perform like a man. I was going to ask you, don't you think that's a defeatist attitude? And why perform like a man and why not be what you yourself are?
Exactly. That's exactly what I think. That why? So that's the question I was asked, because initially when I joined the state, I was also told that it's a service, it's a very manly service within quotes. So you're supposed to be behaving like men. and men drink. That is the normal notion. I am a little conservative, but I thought that is the way it should be. I should project myself of just being me. Why should I project myself, that I'll become more manly being a man? So let me be a woman and let me use my qualities.
Let me use another quote of yours. Women kick hard, but not hard enough. Some instances of this where you've kicked hard, and you've kicked hard enough.
Yes, you're right. So this with experience, I think I learned, because initially even I used to kick and feel despondent and then stop kicking at all. And I realized that wasn't working out. So I had to change my stance, and I had to be different. I just realized that I need to kick harder here. So it wasn't working being really sweet.
Please was not
No,
working?
it wasn't at all. Because
So
my
what
work
did you
wasn't getting
substitute
done.
it with?
Well, then I kind of started getting a little stunned. And I said, I need this job done by 3 o'clock. And they realized that was the way, things would work. We need to kick harder. And we need to reinvent ourselves. And we have so much of capacity as women. It's only that we underutilize ourselves and we do not expand our wings completely. Because I feel that if we expand our wings completely, I think nobody can stop us.
Were there moments when you said, oh God, what have I got into and why? And if you will allow me to use your quote once again, hide your tears.
Yes. So there were instances where one felt suddenly that, you were literally hounded up. Even in certain meetings, you felt very intimidated because you were the only woman you realized in the entire set of men. And even though you wanted to disagree, but your voice was kind of muffled or you were not even heard. So there were points where I had to literally tell everybody to keep quiet and listen to me. I've done that. And it's not that when you do these things, they come very easily, because men look at you and sometimes you're jeered at. And that jeering can be extremely intimidating. So I've come back to the bathroom many times and cried to myself that, what am I doing? And why am I in this job? But then, I told myself that this is not the way it should be. Then again, I came out. I fought my tears and I said, no, I have to stand up for the cause. Doesn't matter. Let them laugh, let them jeer. And gradually, men learned to listen. But you have to raise your voice. If you are quiet, then you are definitely muffled. So that's one lesson I learned. It's okay to be jeered at, but you have to make your point.
Against this backdrop, do you think being a man helps? And it is easier for men?
So you're right, Kumkumji, somewhere being a man definitely helps, because these are all male-dominated bastions. But now gradually, if you see, things are changing and so many glass ceilings have been broken. And that is why I wish that we are able to show the past to our younger ones and the young girls there now who feel so confident when they enter services, because they know exactly where they stand, what to do, how to speak. So I'm very happy when I see young, confident girls entering the services today. They are far more confident than us.
So would you say a beginning has been made for that change, or we are halfway through, or we still have a long, long way to go?
So I always say that, we start off, and if we start off, that's achievement enough. And I think somewhere, as I just said, our seniors started off for us. So we need to take that further. And those girls need to take that further. So the candle torch has to, pass on. And the change has begun. We have all sorts of acts today in place which are in favor of women. Men are definitely wary of women now. They do not take women lightly, at least in the workspaces. I know at homes the scenarios are changing gradually, but in the office space, well, men are learning to listen.
Tell me your most difficult moment, or that one moment in your life and particularly your profession, which was a dark moment.
Yes, so many moments which have been dark moments. There were tough times when, for instance, when I was the Deputy Commissioner of Faridkot. Again, I was the first lady Deputy Commissioner there. And a very, very male-dominated society, because it consists of the dominant community, the dominant caste there. And firstly, for them to accept me as the Deputy Commissioner was a bit difficult. And I threw a challenge by trying to get in presiding officers and polling officers, women who could be posted in those places during election times. There was a huge amount of resistance. And the men literally came up to me and said, how can you even think of getting women in these places? I was sent to a village to get some women for a self-help group. So I was told that a woman will not be allowed to come in the open space. To my utter surprise and shock, there were hordes of women waiting to greet me. I came back and I told these people who had dissuaded me earlier that आपने तो कहा था कि कोई नहीं आएगी, देखिए कितनी ladies आए. So then they came and told me, ma'am, they were there to see you, that how does a woman look in a car with a red beacon. So they did not come and literally for the self-help group, they came to see me. So that's how, I literally became a museum exhibit and somebody to be showcased. But in any case, those things start off, and once that takes off, the resistance kind of wears down and people start accepting you, and gradually things have changed. Now I hear there is another deputy commissioner lady after me, 12 years. Well, it took 12 years. But after 12 years, there is another lady deputy commissioner today in Faridkot, and we have a SSP who's a lady as well. That makes me immensely proud.
But tell me, were there any moments when you felt threatened, unsafe, and was there in any sense a threat to your life?
So I've been posted in difficult districts and difficult situations. I knew there is a threat to my life. That is in a service always, but especially when you're in field positions and in crucial districts, when the political scene is tough sometimes, things do get difficult.
A grim moment. You have seen mental patients being tied in chains in many homes in Punjab. How chilling was that experience?
So that was really blood-curdling, because that was something I had not thought of. Of course, drugs was something our districts were plagued with. I have worked mostly in the Malwa belt of Punjab, which was essentially at that point of time, children were taking on to drugs, and the worst part was they did not even know that they were on drugs, because they were using those leaves and rubbing them and using them. So people just told them that this gives you a high. So they didn't know that they were actually being drugged. In continuity with these, there were people in homes. Somebody told me one day that, madam, एक ना वहाँ पर एक lady है, चीखती चिल्लाती है, वो पागल है. So being from a psychology background, I could gather that there's something more to that. So I said, चलो उनके घर चलते हैं. But when I landed there, the lady got so excited on seeing me that, there's finally somebody who's come and seen her, because she was locked for the last so many years. So she was just given food literally from the outside. Now she must have been a patient of either schizophrenia or, obsessive compulsive disorder, or a little hyperactive patient. So they don't know how to deal with it. And taking women or even men out to the mental hospital was looked up as a scar and as a blot on the house. So not many people wanted to take their loved ones to the hospitals, because they did not want them, them to be shamed.
On the personal front, you are an accomplished singer, and many of your videos have gone viral.
Those were two bhajans which were very close to my heart, because my maternal grandfather had taught my mother, and my mother had taught me those bhajans. When I lost my grandfather, that was a tribute literally that I wanted to give to him. For me, it was a little tough, because, we are bureaucrats, we are supposed to be faceless, and we feel a little, should I say, intimidated to come out in the open like that. So the only thing I wanted to do was lend my voice to the best. But yes, once I did it, it was a lot of fun, because then I could feel, the Lord Krishna and Radha ji and everybody into my own song, and I was on my own trip then.
I was just coming to that. Why Lord Krishna? And your profile picture has Lord Venkatesh. So why this amalgam of gods?
It's not about Lord Krishna or Lord Shiva. I worship all gods, I think. And I visit Gurudwaras also. Now I'm in Punjab, so I have a lot of faith in that. I have also visited a lot of churches, because I've studied in convents. So it's not about one god in particular, but yes, definitely certain amount of divinity adds peace into my own lifestyle.
Finally, between verse and song, what would you like to leave our viewers with?
So maybe 2 lines, which I also think are about my life. दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा, मस्ती भरे मन में भोली सी आशा, चांद तारों को छूने की आशा, आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा, दिल है छोटा सा, छोटी सी आशा.
Rakhee Gupta Bhandari, thank you very much. Thank you for your time and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Kumkum ji. I really enjoyed your talk show.